I'm Rori, and you are listening to Rori's Room, the podcast where we discuss anything and everything life throws at us. Welcome to Season 3, More Than Just a Job. I am sitting down with creatives and professionals who are chasing and shaping the work that they have always wanted to do. This season is all about sharing different perspectives from different fields and revealing just how those paths might have changed them along the way. This week, we are wrapping up our conversation with performer, coach, and choreographer Patti Meadors. If you haven't listened to part 1 of Patti's episode, I recommend you do so prior to this segment. That being said, let's enter Rori's room.
It is an incredibly demanding job to be a performer, to be a choreographer, to be it's demanding to do anything. I mean, it's demanding to be a human. But a lot of, I think, performers, I try to stretch every day. I try to eat well. I try to go to the gym. I drink tons of water. So staying physically well is really important to me. If I get sick, then I'm down for the count and across the board. I can't, if I lose my voice, I'm out 4 of my jobs. So it's really important to me to stay up to date, taking care of myself and staying healthy and being really mindful about exposures and if I'm how I'm feeling. And so they all feed into each other and being healthy is really at the root of it.
More or less mental obstacles than there are physical, or is there kind of a balance?
I think it's a balance. I think most performers struggle with imposter syndrome, feeling they're I don't think I'm good enough to be here. And that's a challenge in itself. But I mean, it is very physically demanding and can be very physically demanding. I guess it doesn't have to be, but a lot of what I do is very physically demanding. And so staying on top of the game, basically staying on top of the ball with my physical health and with my mental health and being able to take care of both and having time for both. Yeah.
What made you want to pursue teaching, more so coaching voice? And
I had been taking voice lessons since I was 9, I think. And being that young and taking voice and shaping young voices is so important to me. I never wanted to be a teacher in a traditional setting. I don't know why. I love teachers. My brother's a teacher. My grandparents were both teachers. I've got a bunch of friends who are teachers. It just class planning seemed really challenging to me. I love the one-on-one aspect of being able to know what I'm working on with each of my students, know that student A is really working on extending her mixed belt. So we're working on these tactics, and student B, we really want to work on her being able to drop in and act a song that's more dramatic. And student C wants to memorize this patter song that's really fast. So we want to work on our diction and be able to have individual time with all of them. It's also a flexible part-time job that I get to make my own hours and say okay, I am available this week and here's what I'm available for, versus okay, I'm not available this week. I'm off on a job, or I'm doing this, or I'm on set, or whatever. It's another way for me to make money, which is unfortunately important, but also I love doing it. I adore my students, and I'm so lucky to just have such incredible young performers that I get to work with.
Those jobs are always really impactful too when you're in the arts field, because I feel there's always something going on. If it's not something that you have planned in your calendar, it's an opportunity that pops up out of the blue. So having that flexibility to work your own hours is very nice.
Yeah, it's the best. It's so many people out of college, they're what do I do? How do I do this and make money? And it's find a flexible part-time job and cross your fingers, and you've got to grind for the first couple of years, and it really stinks.
Yeah, it's tiring.
It is. It really is.
And as a choreographer, how does your understanding of movement influence your approach to singing or acting? I know they're both physical, some more than others, but I'm curious if there's a little correlation between them. Of course, there's more than a little correlation. But does your understanding of movement help you sing or act better at all?
Definitely. Being able to be rooted in your body more. I think also as a dancer, there are muscles that you can feel in your body that your average person might not necessarily know how to access or engage.
Right.
I think also I don't know, whenever I'm in an audition and we're not necessarily dancing, but we're doing some sort of something, I always get clocked as oh, are you a dancer of some kind? I'm yeah. So it's just being able to be comfortable in your body and be comfortable doing silly movements, I think is a big one. So I don't know. I think that's mainly like the difference or like how it impacts me.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of correlation to, like, I mean, like, you even see, like, I can't remember if it was like a movie or something that I saw it in, but like, I feel like dance is very important to a lot of physical things. Like, people don't appreciate it enough. I think it was one with like Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it or something, like one that I watched in like the early 2000s where
With his daughter as the ballerina.
Yep.
Yes.
Where it like, yeah, it helped them, I think it was doing ballet, helped them become better on the football field.
Yes.
And I feel like that can be used in like a lot of different senses, because like not even just like football or sports, but like mobility and being able to do things and like just being able to stretch. And not to mention, stretching is so important. I'm a runner and I hurt myself last summer because I have a feeling that it's because I didn't stretch enough.
Probably.
And it's a lasting effect. And as you get older, you're not just gonna bounce back as fast, and more oftentimes than less, you're gonna hurt yourself and have a phantom pain for the rest of your life, and there's nothing that can do about it. And that's another reason why I don't want to go to the doctor, because they'd be like, okay, good luck, this is what you gotta deal with now. But yeah, I feel like a lot of dance is very important to learn, and that's something that I really want to get into, and I really want to look into like getting kids into them at early ages and stuff like that, and how that influences it. I just listened to a podcast with Michelle Obama, and she talked to, who was it? She was like an Olympian. Let me look it up quick. You might know the name or not, I'm not really sure. Allie Raisman, I think.
I do not.
I think she was a gymnast, but she started like when she was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
By doing like mommy and daughter courses.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could start that young, but
you can start even
really
younger. I used to nanny for a little girl who was like 18 months old, and she would go to a gymnastics class.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they're not like flipping around and doing stuff. They're like running around the gym and like working on like coordination, but like you can start them very young.
I think it's like stretching too, so like just doing even the littlest amount of stuff can have a huge impact. So that's always something that I've liked about dance. I don't really know much, but I feel like it's really important to do.
Yeah. Moving your body
and
a little bit every day.
Exactly. In terms of like balancing everything, I'm sure you're familiar with burnout, especially like mental and physical burnout with like your career. So how do you go about navigating that in a professional setting?
Yeah, well, I think a big one is like, I think you can feel yourself getting burnt out and knowing, okay, what are my steps to avoid, like, how can I correct this? Am I too busy? Can I take some other stuff off my plate so that I can do this job that is paying me? Great. If I can't, what can I do? Like, what can I implement in my day-to-day routine that like lets me relax and unwind and not feel so stressed all the time? I think having hobbies outside of your job is probably the biggest piece of advice I could give to any young person. Filmmaker, 9 to 5, desk job, performance, barista, whatever it is. Like, if you eat, breathe, like sleep, all of the above, just your job, you're gonna get burnt out. Find a hobby that you love that has nothing to do with it. I like love to read. I love to play Animal Crossing. I craft. Like, I just do things that I'm like, let my mind get taken off of like the 9 million things I have on my plate from my 10 part-time jobs, and like from performing and from like the heavy shows that I'm working on that like are really taxing, or even like the physically demanding like choreography that I'm working on, like whatever the case might be. Like, having something that I can come home and like just shut off my brain, like watch a movie with your partner, read a book with your friends, like go get coffee with like your girlfriends, like whatever the case is, like having something built into your routine that you have to do that is not part of your job is so important. Like, I think so many people are like, okay, and now I'm coming home from 12 hours of rehearsal and I have to work on this monologue and I have to do these self-tapes, and then I'm going to go to bed and do it all again the next day. Like, you're going to get burnt out so quickly. Having those hobbies that are not related are going to be life-saving.
How do you differentiate between pushing yourself in towards your career and stuff, and like even like pushing yourself to have those built-in hobbies and stuff like that, and differentiating that between burnout?
Google Calendar. I'm your biggest fan. I'm checking my calendar every time I open my phone. Like, I'm always on my calendar. I love to be on my calendar. So I will put in like audition deadlines. I'll put in like shows, rehearsals that I have. Like, I have to get this thing choreographed by this time. Like, everything is written down so that I know exactly what needs to be done and when it needs to be done by. I don't know how anyone who isn't writing their stuff down is getting stuff done. Like, I cannot, like, if I don't write it down, it's gone. Like, then I'm like, oh, I don't have to do it.
That's exactly okay. Like, that's so crazy because when in our things that we can't get behind, I think I accidentally skipped mine. And it's quite literally not writing things down, because if I don't write it down, it's gone, because I have a terrible memory. And it actually always makes me so frustrated when people get this like bright and amazing idea and they don't write it down, because I'll just remember it for later. Like, if it was me, I would not.
Yeah.
No.
I do have a fairly good memory, so I don't have to like write everything down, but I'm like, if there's a deadline, it's in the Google Calendar. If I've got like a lunch date, Google Calendar. Rehearsal, Google Calendar. Like date night, Google Calendar. It's in there. It's color coded. Like, I was in a sorority. Like, I am whole 9 yards organized.
Do you have a physical calendar?
I used to have a planner when I was in school, but because I'm like switching between so many bags to go to different, like, I have a dance class bag, I've got a rehearsal bag, I've got my like nanny bag that I use. Like, I don't want to have something that I leave, so it's all switched to my Google Calendar. Shout out Google Calendar, if you're listening, sponsor me.
Were you a highlighter girlie?
Oh yeah.
Me too. I had my pencil case here, I started annotating my books like as I'm reading, and it's so pretty. First of all, if you ever think about annotating, just do it.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're an avid rereader like I am, like going back and like looking at where your thoughts were when you first read something.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Life-changing.
Have you read A Court of Thorns and Roses?
I have not. I'm not like big into like...
I swear I bring it up in every single podcast, trying to find people who've read it. My best friend had been trying to get me to read it for so long, and then I finally did, and now I'm like constantly like trying to throw it at other people, so I have someone to talk about it with. But this is besides the point.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't make sense of my calendar. I have a physical one, and I'm just starting to use like digital ones too, but I have like 5 calendars littered across the entire house. But if I don't color code, I'm gonna lose it, because there's just always so much going on.
Yeah. There's always something to do. So yeah. I'm an iPad girly. Like, I have my iPad at every rehearsal. My scripts are on my iPad. So, and I've got a planner on my iPad that I'll write stuff down in occasionally, but if it's not on the Google Calendar, it doesn't exist. So it's got to go. It'll get to the Google Calendar eventually.
Speaking of reading, I find that reading inspires me to create. Like, this year I started reading a lot because one of my New Year's resolutions was to read my height in books.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a journey. But I found that as a creative, like, I really enjoy writing and stuff. That's always been something that I've really loved doing. And I found that the longer and the more I read, the easier it was for me to write and produce creative stuff. And I was curious if you had something like that. Does reading inspire you, or is there something similar that you draw inspiration from in your career?
My hobbies are like brain off, like, let me just live, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, which of my hobbies would be the things that I'm like, oh yeah, this is really inspiring me to go create. I don't know, I guess when performance is more of your job, it's like, okay, here I go, like, now I'm going to create this, like, I'm going to perform. Like, if I hear a really good song, like, I'll be like, oh, I want to go try out that, like, riff or that little section, like, that sounds really fun, and then I'll go, like, do that, but it's never from, like, one of my non-performance hobbies, necessarily.
I think that's healthy, though, to have, like, to turn your brain off. I cannot do that, ever. I feel like my brain is always constantly moving. It's actually exhausting.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can turn it off.
And it's not even that I can turn my brain off. It's just that I'm like, I have to force myself to like I lock into an hour of Animal Crossing, and I'm like, I cannot think about anything else, because if I think any more about this audition or this thing or this thing or this thing or this thing, that I'm gonna explode. So it's like, okay, I have to water these stupid little plants, and I have to go fishing, and I have to go and pay Tom Nook $1 million bells for like 2 more rows of storage. Like I like force myself to like do it almost, because there was such a time where I was like, if I'm not doing something productive, then like, what am I even doing? And I found out real quick, my body was like, I don't like that. I'm going to make you sick all the time if you do that. And also your mental health is going to be terrible if you do that. And so now to avoid that, I'm like, all right, we're clocking in to 1 hour of reading. We're clocking in to 1 hour of Animal Crossing. Nothing else matters.
I burnt myself out so bad my freshman year because I took 2 gap years from school. And before then, I transferred to a big school from a small school and was like really intimidated by like the variety of different activities they had. So I didn't do anything my junior and senior year of high school. And so moving into college, I thought I could make up for the last 4 years by doing everything in the first semester. And by the second semester, I burnt out so bad that I was 100% convinced that I was not going to keep going to school, so nothing else mattered. I didn't attend like 3 of my finals. And then like I was like, okay, I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna drop out and travel the world in like a renovated van. Not even like thinking about my motion sickness and how unrealistic that is. But I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't like the government. I don't like going to school. Like, I'm so burnt out. I'm so tired. I was sick for like an entire month. Like, not straight, but like an entire month of classes combined, which is crazy considering there's only like 3 months in a semester. I don't know how I passed. And I also got an honor roll with 18 credits and 5 jobs. Is like, how? But the spring semester came around and I was so burnt out that like I didn't want to do anything. And then I ended up coming back the fall, but like after severe convincing.
Yeah, sure.
But like I totally get what you mean. Like, it's crazy how much the body tells you when you've had enough.
The body will keep score.
You don't think that you think you can handle so much more, but your body is sending you so many different signals that you need to rest.
Like SOS in 17 different languages, and you're like, yeah, it's fine. That sign won't stop me. I cannot read.
Like your Christmas lights are on your car dashboard, and you're just like, no, it's fine.
That's so fun. That's so pretty. How festive. And your car's like, I will blow up. I will actually
literally
blow up.
My check engine light is on at all times.
Love.
When did you first get into I think it was Milwaukee Repertory Theater?
Yeah, so they have an emerging residency program. I encourage every like early career actor, director. They have an education track. They've got a stage management track. They've got a costume track. I encourage everyone to look into it. It is so wonderful. Like, I love working there. I applied for the residency before we even decided to officially move to Milwaukee. So we decided to move into Milwaukee in March of 2022, like early March. And I heard about the residency in like February. And so I was like, I'm going to sign up for this, even if we don't move to Milwaukee, like just see what happens, like make a connection at a regional theater. It'll be great. Moved. I had my first interview in Missouri, and I was like, there's so many people who audition for this. My voice teacher was like, you're really talented. You're really great. Like, I've had students who've auditioned for this like year after year after year and don't get in. So like, don't expect to get in on your first year. And I was like, great. So the fact that I got an initial interview, I was like, wow, this is really awesome. Like, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to get an initial interview. And then after the
that was all going virtually, you said, right?
Yeah. So I was in Missouri, because most of the residents are not local to Milwaukee. There might be like one or two every year that's local, but otherwise it's like you're from anywhere and everywhere. And your early career, like, so that could mean you just graduated from grad school. It could mean you just graduated from undergrad. You're like, I think you have to be 18 or older to apply to be a resident, is my understanding. But a lot of them are like post-graduation, like 1 or 2 years out of college, 1 or 2 years out of their master's program, just switched to doing theater after being in something else for several years, like whatever the case may be. So I did my first interview, and then they asked me back for a second interview. We'd already started moving to Milwaukee, and we did our second interview, and our residency, like our coordinator was like, oh, like, where am I, like, are you in Missouri? And I was like, no, I actually like moved up to Milwaukee. And I could see like on his face that he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, we just, decided to move up here. Like, our college town didn't have anything, and this ended up being the place that we wanted to go. So we just happened to be here. Like, so, hey, we're here. And a couple weeks after that, I got my like official, yes, we want to have you in the program. I was at a gas station on my way to a rehearsal, and I got like a phone call from him, and I was like, literally, I saw that it was his name, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up. Like, either this is like a thanks so much, we don't want you, or like, you're in. And I'm just at this random gas station in like Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And so I pick up and I'm like,
Fond du Lac.
Hello, hi, like, hi. And he's like, hey, this is Joe, from the Milwaukee Rep. And I was like, hi, oh my gosh, hi, good to talk to you, hi. And he set it up, like, he was very, I love him. He's really, really awesome. He set it up in a way where it was like, I didn't know which way it was gonna go. And then he was like, we'd love to have you part of the cohort. And I remember like squealing in this Fond du Lac gas station and be like, oh my God, yes. In the gas, well, like it was summer, so like everyone was outside, but I was like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, we'll take some time to think about it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take some time. Like,
girl, I don't need time.
I don't need time.
About it.
I don't need time. I will do it. And I started like 3 months after that in October, and my residency went until end of February, so 22 to 23. And then I've been asked back to swing for Christmas Carol, which has just been so fun. And I learned so much and just made like some of my best friends to this day. Like I are from that program, and I'm just. I don't know how many times take a shot every time I say I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I'm the luckiest girl in the world to like have worked there and to be able to still work there. Like I just worked there this past December with Christmas Carol. So I'm thankful.
I really like how you remembered exactly where you were when you got that call back.
Yeah.
And at a gas station in Fond du Lac, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like, if you're from Wisconsin, you probably know Fond du Lac, or you don't. Like, that's over. I feel like I had so many, like, random memories there, not because we went to Fond du Lac, but because we were on our way to somewhere else and somehow ended up in Fond du Lac.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Summer day, and I was just squealing my little heart out. Everyone probably thought that I don't know, cured cancer or something. I was so happy. But it was like top 5 moment like of my life. Like I was like, wow, everything that I've worked for has like amounted to something.
How has working in the Christmas Carol become like a staple in your career? Like you said, you go back like, is it winter?
Yeah.
Right? Christmas? So how has that shaped like your growth? Has it become like a built-in thing that you look forward to every year?
Every time I get asked back, like I am so glad to be back in like Christmas Carol land. I love Christmas Carol. Like I love Christmas. Like I'm a big winter girl. So being able to be there and like experience all the magic of Christmas is so much fun for me. And be with the people. Like so much of the cast are like Milwaukee favorites, and working with them is just so inspiring to see them work every day. And their level of professionalism and expertise in their fields, like it's just really astounding. So, and we get to meet the new residents every year, and that's just so much fun to like see. Oh my gosh, yeah, 3 years ago I was in your shoes, and it's really incredible.
Would you recommend people who are like emerging theater professionals try out these?
1000%. Yes. It doesn't, I mean, I love the Milwaukee Reps program, but like any theater that's got like an emerging residency, like just do your research and go find a place and go try it out. Like go try out a city that you've never been in before, and like see what you like, and find people that you love to work with and work for and like create with. Like it's life-changing. So
whether it be at Milwaukee Rep or wherever you worked, honestly, do you have any favorite roles that you like and think that they stand out amongst the rest?
Favorite role, one of my dream roles is Claire in Ordinary Days, which is a musical that not many folks know. I was lucky enough to play Claire. That was my first gig up in Milwaukee, out in Fond du Lac actually, which is why I was in Fond du Lac. I love that score. I love that show. I had a really incredible scene partner that I worked with. That show itself is so magical. I could do that show every day for the rest of my life and like die happy. It's just a really beautiful piece of theater. I got a bunch though. Like I loved working. I love working on new works, discovering characters and finding their little niches and getting things written into the story that I did. Like that's so fun for me. I'm excited. I'm playing one of my other dream roles this spring. I'm playing, by the time this comes out, I think it'll be announced. It should be, because the show will be going on in April. I'm playing Little Red in Into the Woods, and she is a huge dream role of mine. Into the Woods is one of my absolute favorite shows ever. I was in it in high school. So being able to revisit that show and revisit my love for Sondheim and music and play this funky, sassy character is just, I am thrilled.
This character suits you.
Thank you.
I could totally see it.
So I'm super
Throw on,
excited.
like, a Little Red Hood.
Oh yeah, she's there. She's cooking. So I have a feeling that answer will change once I do that show, and that might be my favorite role that I've played, because she's just right up my alley. I love Sondheim. I love Into the Woods. Like, there are so many roles in that show that I would love to play. Like, I would love to play Little Red. I'd love to play the baker's wife someday. I'd love to play Cinderella. I'd love to play the stepsisters. Like, there is not a bad role in that show. Like, that's another show that I feel like I could do every day for the rest of my life and be like, we're cooking, we're happy.
I know that you said you really liked playing Claire and that it was currently your favorite up until Little Red, probably. But were there any challenges in that role that you had to hurdle over? And what did you discover about yourself during that period?
Claire is I'm still not old enough now to play Claire. Claire should be someone who's played in her 30s, and I was playing her at 22, I think, or 23. So I was young to be playing her. And so really trying to find the maturity in her was difficult, and being believable. I am told that I have a very young face. So I think it's, hearing someone who looks like me sing about like the things that Claire has gone through, you're like, you look like a baby. I don't know if I believe that. And so finding the like her story is so intricate and sad and heartwarming and melancholy, and finding all of the different grooves and how they could work and be believable being told by me was a big challenge. But I think just really being familiar with the source material and with the story itself and staying true to that was how I got through it.
Were there any productions that you feel like really expanded your range as a performer, whether it be like roles or just the entire production itself?
I learned something new from every show that I do. Like, I learned so much and get so many new connections and friends and that sort of thing, that I don't think that there's one that I'm like, oh gosh, like I learned so much during this, or this was like the one that changed my life, or this one show was this. So they all brought me blessings in disguise in their own accords.
What was it like working with the Pink Umbrella Theater?
I love Pink Umbrella. I just got an email from them that they have their own theater space now, from my understanding, which is huge for them. They're all about accessibility. Katie is one of their, I don't know if she's like the artistic director or what her job is, but she is just such a gem. Like, if you have an opportunity to work with Pink Umbrella and you're in the Milwaukee area or see a Pink Umbrella show, like, they're just such wonderful people. Love working with them. Like, I've loved following their journey and following what they're doing, and they just do such incredible work for the community, and I'm so thrilled for them that they're getting their own space, and I can't wait to see it.
It's always nice to see the arts moving up in the world. I feel like a lot of arts is sidelined in especially high schools. I grew up in like a town of like I don't even know if there were like 2,000 people in this city. It was like a suburb of one of the bigger cities that had the hospital, and like
Sure.
all the smaller cities went in to that city to get the hospital. But like, I feel like growing up for me, we had like 4 gyms and like no auditorium. We actually performed in the gym, and we practiced in the basement. Yeah. So like, we like, even if you were in choir and band, you actually had to give up a study hall every other day to go to that second music because they didn't have the space, which still blows my mind to this day.
Crazy.
That we actually, like, right after I graduated, they made another gym, and I was like, do we really need another gym?
Another gym?
Like,
what about an auditorium?
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's really nice to see when arts and that kind of stuff, like performing arts, really gets what they need to perform.
My mom is like huge in arts advocacy and arts education advocacy. And so I remember going to the school board meetings when I was middle school, high school.
Amazing.
And like being the insufferable 14-year-old being like, do we really need an Olympic-sized pool when our swim team didn't even place in state, or do we need this thing for this choir that is placing in state? And just being insufferable.
Did you actually?
I would say some like pretty unhinged things.
Absolutely.
We did have, I mean, my high school was really like, I'm sure they did place in state or like whatever the case may be, but I do remember being like, if we do this thing, the arts are going to suffer. Like, we need to support both. Like, we should not only be supporting one and not the other, because yes, our football team plays really well and they go to state, but also our marching band does really well and they like go to state in their own accord. Like, let's let all the things thrive. Like, we don't need to just pick one. It's not Sophie's choice.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the same with you either, but like, the marching band was always present at the football games and stuff. So it's like, if that was gone, you guys, like, the audience would feel it, the players would feel it. So like, that needs to definitely be prioritized more.
Yeah, my brother was in marching band all 4 years, and he's now a marching band. Like, he's a band director, and directs his own marching band. So like, it's a huge. And my parents were in marching band. It was honestly like, I was the black sheep for not being in marching band and for being vehemently against being in marching band. I was, 13 years old, and I was like, I'm going to do something different for my brother, and I'm not going to be just his little sister. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Like every 13-year-old girl, honestly. So it was just not doing that, but I still was like, don't be mean to the marching band. If you're going to bully the marching band, you're going to have to answer to me.
Yeah. Only you can bully the marching band.
Only I can bully my brother in the marching band. None of you can, though. Yeah.
All right, and moving on to the question I've been looking forward to the most, the immersive Bluey experience, because Bluey is superior. Personally, I think Bluey is made for adults because there's so many more deeper messages. I watched one. Okay, so we turn it on after I see something scary because I've been so chicken with watching literally anything or like seeing anything scary lately. So we'll put that on after I watch something like sad or something that I just want to cheer up. And we put one on after we watched, I think I made my partner turn off John Wick because they killed the dog. And I was like, oh my God.
Flop. You
have to turn it off right now. Ever since we got in this relationship, I've been so emotional. So I can't even finish the movie. So I was like, okay, you have to turn on Bluey. You have to turn it on right now. And we turned it on. We watched like 2 episodes. The first one was fine. Like, it was happy. It was like them playing like the balloon bop or whatever. Keepy uppy. Yep.
I had to watch all of these Bluey episodes. So you'll say them and I will know them.
Then we watched, the second one that we watched was Chili's sister came over. And they were like, why don't we only see your sister like once in our lives? And then it turns out like she can't have kids.
She's infertile. Yeah. And
I'm like, oh my God. Like, you're telling me that this is a show for kids, but it's like messages like these, like it literally brings me to tears every time I watch an episode.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's a lot of it. And like those like kids, it's just paints stories in a way that like kids do experience that. Like kids do have family members and friends who like they can't have kids and they don't understand why. Right. And like having that as like such a prominent arc and like something that's like so normalized is so great for them. And like at the Bluey experience, obviously we did see a lot of families and kids, but there were also some adults who just went because like they loved the show so much. And so it was always so sweet to have like those adults who like really did like have that sweet and genuine connection to it.
Girl, I would have been there.
Hey, we love it. And like we love the adults who are there and they're having a good time and they're vibing. When the adults go there and they're weird about it, then you're like, all right, let's remember.
Yeah.
Remember where you are.
Yeah.
It was so much fun though. We did, I mean, all the classics. Like we did Unicourse, we had Yuppie, like we did Grannies, like all of the classics. Like it was an hour-long show that was just like 4 different shows were running simultaneously. Like you're playing Magic Asparagus in one room while someone else was playing Keepy Uppy, while someone else was doing Unicourse, while someone else was doing Grannies. Like everything was just kind of happening and it was like all set to a track. So it was like you'd hear something happen like musically and you'd be like, okay, it's time to do this thing. Now it's time to do this thing. Now it's time to do this thing. And like you're just integrating like a new group coming in and the group leaving, like how they all go together. So it was super fun. I loved that job.
Do you feel like your work as a stage performer helped you prepare for that job?
It was all theater people. It was all theater people. Yeah, they were exclusively looking for like actors to do it. It wasn't like anyone off the street, come do this. It was a performance. Like it was 1000%. You were performing as yourself in the Bluey house, but you were performing. Like it was like our shifts were several hours long and it was like you're on a show for that amount of time.
Is it different, do you think, than like your stuff that you were used to previously?
So I work as a princess performer as well. So it was like most similar to that, I would say, like working with the kids and like yes-anding everything that the kids say while still trying to keep them on course. Like we're like, yes, we can do that thing. And also we're still moving towards our common goal together. So it wasn't like vastly different. I do know some like friends and coworkers of mine who were like, oh, this is different from like, I only do stage shows where I don't interact with the audience. But a lot of it is just like audience interaction and working with the kids and figuring that out. And I think my experience in like childcare and improv and princess party performing, like all really just was the perfect combination to make that just such a fun time for me.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like your non-artistic jobs, if that makes sense, like you nanny. So like they all kind of come together in like a really specific way, especially for those experiences like the Bluey experience. And you've mentioned the zoo one, right?
Yeah, I've worked a lot with like TYA, Theater for Young Audiences, like, and I think I am well suited for those because of my experience in childcare and because of my experience like with like character performing.
I think the more experience that you get makes you just a more versatile artist.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like that's a lot like a lot of creators feel that way, because it's helpful. Not only is it like kind of, you need it in this day and age where like everything is like digital and like everything is like they want to pay less people, so you kind of have to be like two different jobs at once, but I feel like they all just like benefit each other in like both direct and indirect ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So like getting experience is very important, and especially like as you gained visibility in Chicago just by like growing up around that area as well, working with like Milwaukee Rep and a lot of the other agencies and corporations, how did that recognition impact your opportunities?
I mean, so much of theater is like who you know, like it's about connections and about working with people and connecting with them. And so like being able to work at the Milwaukee Rep, so many theaters were like, oh, wow, yeah, like you've worked at a notable theater company. We'll see you for this thing. We'll see you for that thing. Like we're more willing to take a chance on me, which is like, it goes both ways. Like it was awesome, and it's also like it's kind of a bummer. And I learned a lot and grew a lot during my residency and during that time. So it wasn't like I was the same exact performer that I was before. But having that, like I've got, what is it, like 4 or 5 Christmas carols on there now, and I was going in for Christmas Carol at another theater, and they're like, "Wow, you've done a lot of Christmas Carol." And I'm like, "Yep, I have caroled lots of Christmases." So it's about the connections, about knowing the people, and it's just been awesome to like see how so many people, oh, I've worked with this person before, I love that person, tell them I say hi, like blah blah blah, that sort of thing, where
Everyone's connected.
The world is so small, and it's like beautiful and terrifying, and it's just awesome.
Out of all of these connections, if you had to pick 3 either mentors or references that really impacted your life and career the most, who would it be?
Gosh, what a great question. My voice teacher, surprise, my voice teacher, Mary Laguerre, she is in Chicago. I've been taking with her almost for 10 years now. She's gotten me through college auditions. She got me through my first professional auditions. She's just incredible. Like, I love her. I would say a lot of my cohort, like there's not one specific person from my cohort that I'm like, oh, I love them the best or whatever. But seeing where they are and where they've gone off to and what they're up to, there's something just so special about like that. The people that you spent such a long time with doing the same thing. So they're so special to me. I don't know. Gosh, this is so hard. There's been so many amazing people in my life that I don't think I can pick one. I guess I'll cop out my parents. Like they push me to be my best, and they're always there to support me, and they're connecting me to the people that they know to make sure that I can thrive and succeed. And so yeah. Feels all little cop-out answers, but I love them.
No, I loved it. How has being a quote-unquote Nepo baby influenced your exploration of on-camera work?
Yes, so for those who don't know, my partner is Adam Smith, who was on or will be on the show. And so he got connected to Rori first, and then Rori reached out to me. Nepo baby. Ever since Adam and I have been together for almost 6 years now. And ever since we got together, every film that he's worked on since, I've had a part in, that he wrote or directed, not everything, but I'll have a cameo in the background, or I'm one of the main characters, or I'm doing a voice acting bit for them. He always makes sure to have something in there for me, which is very sweet, and hopefully I don't come off as a bad Nepo baby. I think I'm cool and fun and talented sometimes.
I agree.
So sometimes. And I think I bring a positive, good attitude to sets that I think people like. So yeah, I love working with him, obviously, because it's him, but I love just seeing him in his element, and also being able to, because he directs and writes and then I act, and so it's kind of the perfect pairing. Whenever we tell people that, they're like, oh my gosh, what a dream. You're just a dream team. So it is it is a very storybook dream team. We're lucky to be with each other and supporting each other. And so yeah, I love him.
How did you first transition into film and modeling?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, was actually in Chicago Fire, as an extra.
You were?
I was, yeah. So they put a casting call out for high school age students because they're doing a homecoming episode in one of their earlier seasons. And so I was on camera as a judgmental homecoming attendee. And I was 16, 17 at the time. And then I was in a couple short films here and there. But when I was in college, I'd do some student films and that sort of thing. But I just started applying to agencies when I moved up here to see like kind of what was going to happen about modeling and being in like more ads and specs and that sort of thing. So it was just mostly like, yeah, this is something that's interesting to me and I think that I'd be good at. And it's been super fun to explore that avenue.
What are the biggest differences that you've noticed between like acting for stage versus acting on screen?
Acting for screen is so hard because sometimes you just have to like, it's not hard, it's different and it's hard in its own way. But theater, you get one chance and it's live, so you feed off the energy of the audience. I was in a short film called Sisterhood where I played a sorority president that gets murdered, and I had to die for like 6 hours straight and just do my death scene for 6 hours straight. So it was like, I was like, you know, had to be like silly, jokey fun when I was off screen, and because it was just such, I mean, you're dying and crying and all this stuff. But then like as soon as the camera starts rolling, you're like, all right, cue tears, cue this, cue that. Like it's different because it's sometimes you just have to like pull out the given circumstances from thin air, and it can be hard because sometimes you don't have a scene partner like right in your eye line, and you just have to be like giving your scene to a camera, and you're like, all right, this camera is giving me nothing, and I just have to go off of what the reactions were at some point in time. So it's different, it's challenging. I like it. It's not for everyone. I know not every stage actor likes to act on screen, and not every screen actor likes to act on stage. They're different, and each of them have their pros and their cons, and people who love to do them and people who hate to do them.
Do you have any tips and tricks on how to stay into character between scenes?
Well, that's the thing, is you don't stay in character between scenes. I love...
Or like getting back onto character.
Getting back into character, absolutely. Yeah. Finding like your touch point things, like if your voice is different or if your physicality is different, finding like a touch point that you go into. I like to make Pinterest boards for all of my film characters.
As you should.
I love a Pinterest board for all my characters. So then I'll like go scroll, like if I'm like on a 10 or on lunch or whatever, like when I go back in, I look at my Pinterest board and I'm like, okay, great. Like this quote has helped ground me, or listening to this song has helped ground me back in, or looking at these pictures, like I'm able to like focus back in and do it. So
that's good stuff. But like film and commercial modeling,
I loved working on. My partner and one of my best friends co-wrote, directed Shot Night, which is a web series that we did right before we moved up to Milwaukee. And it was some of my very best friends working on it. Like that was just, it was so much fun because like being on set was just like hanging out with your friends every day. So that was a blast. I love working with anything that Jolie Melman does. Like if you haven't talked to Jolie, they are incredible. A really, really incredible like filmmaker, photographer, just overall awesome person. Like I've loved everything that I've done with them. I worked on Sisterhood with them, and then Cursed Tooth, which was the short film I did this past summer. They just do such fun and create such amazing sets with awesome people. So it's more about like, do the people rock? And if the people rock, then I'm having like an awesome time.
All right, moving into some last couple questions before we conclude it. Looking back at where you started, Patti, what advice would you give your younger self?
Oh my goodness, stay in dance class. It'd be so much easier if you stayed in dance class. Just muster through at 7 years old. No, what advice would I give? That there will be fans and there will be haters, but if you are your own biggest fan, like nothing else will matter. And people want to be bitter for all types of reasons. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally just in general. A no does not mean you suck. Like getting told no does not mean that you're the worst person ever and you should never do this again. Just let it slide off your back and on to the next.
Is there any misconceptions that people have about your work, either in coaching, choreography, or performing?
The starving artist trope, I think, is really toxic. Like, I think so many, especially like when kids want to go into theater, they're like, oh, well, you're never gonna do anything with your life if you do that. I think this is gonna be such like a great career for people. It's hard, it's challenging, but like in this day and age, what isn't hard and challenging? Like, as opposed to just assuming that every artist is a starving artist, why don't you go support their art and make one less artist starve?
I agree. And especially in like a day and age where it really frustrates me because like people would much rather buy from big corporations or just buy off the shelf movies than rather go in to support stage stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like, I mean, obviously they're just gonna be like, oh, I can just buy the movie and watch it numerous times, but it's not the same experience as going in to watch a show.
No, yeah. So shop local, support local, go see local theater, go see local film, go stimulate the local economy, divas.
What's your take on comparison culture in this field?
Yeah, gosh, there's always going to be someone who's better at something than you. Be your best self. Be in competition with yourself. Be better than what you were yesterday. Be better than you were a year ago. Like, you know, it's not about I want to be the best in my field, be the best you that you can be.
Is there a specific piece or media that you would recommend to young performers looking to get more involved with theater?
Go see shows wherever you are. Community theater shows, go see professional shows. They've got student discounts, they've got young people discounts, they've got like a ton of things. Go to your library, read books, read plays, like consume as much as you're interested in, and consume the things that you're not interested in. Find out what you're not interested in and like be like, all right, well, I didn't like that, but take it all in so that you know what you do like and what you don't like. There's not one like holy grail Bible, whatever, that you can read and you're like, and now I understand everything. Go see as much as you can, consume as much. If you want to go into theater, go see theater. If you want to go into plays, go see plays. Whatever it may be, go do the thing. Go see the thing. Go see other people do the thing. Like, if you didn't book something, go see the show and see what role you were called back for and be like, oh, they went for this person because of this reason, or that performance was really stunning, or they wanted someone who was 4 feet tall and I'm 7 feet tall. Sure. Sometimes it's like out of your control in such a way. Like, there are so many amazing performers who just do themselves a disservice by staying in their little bubble and being like, not going out and experiencing the world. Go out into the world, run amok. Yeah.
Platform, stuff like that.
I'm on Instagram, Patti Meadors, Patti.Meadors. I've got a website, www.pattimeadors.com. Those are the two big ones. I try to keep both of those pretty updated with what I'm up to, what I'm doing. So yeah. Those two things.
Are there any goals that you're looking to accomplish soon, or anything up your sleeve that we can expect to see?
I'm manifesting. This is the year of Sondheim for me. I am doing the Sondheim show in April and May, and I'm hoping to book some more Sondheim. I'm like ready to like sink my teeth back into a really challenging score to like sing my pants off and be challenged musically and driven. So we'll see. We'll see what's on the horizon for me there. But that's the goal.
Absolutely. I'm all for manifesting.
Yep.
That's what you got to do in this industry. You really just got to put your foot forward and put in the work.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's so many misconceptions that it's just going to come to you. Not in this field, because I mean, like, I feel like a lot of artists grow up in the you're not going to accomplish anything in this field unless you go into like mathematics or something. I mean, personally, I did. I feel like growing up in small towns really can impact artists.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily considered a realistic field.
Sure. Even in big towns, like people were like, what's your backup plan? Heard that all the time. Just do it. No backup plan needed. You'll figure it out.
Rori's Room is written and produced by myself, Rori Nicole, and you can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. Theme songs and background music were produced by TJ Borkenhagen. You can follow Rori's Room on Instagram @Rori's Room, and follow me at itsrory_x for updates on the show and a few more glimpses in the life behind the mic. If you enjoyed today's episode, drop a review wherever you listened in. The goal of this show is to share my story and the stories of others in a way that makes people feel a little less alone. The next episode will be out June 28th, 2026, where we will be wrapping up our conversation with dance studio owner, director, and choreographer Casey Dumonso. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you all next time in Rori's Room.